You are watching the Economics Weekly, the talk show where we bring you the freshest information regarding the economy, weekly. My name is Bob.
And I am Anna, and for the program today, we will be touching on the movement of labor in our local scene, Singapore.
We come to the question of, what is international movement of labor? This will be explained by contrasting how international movement of labor, which is an aspect of globalization, affects developed and developing countries.
Labor, in the absence of barriers to mobility, will maximize its income by moving to places where wages are highest. In Singapore, due to the advanced education system, we are met with higher quality of labor due to greater amounts of workers having higher education levels, and thus are more skilled.
This pie chart illustrates the distribution of workforce in Singapore before globalization. As you can see, the blue area, representing skilled labor, greatly outnumbers the amount of lower skilled labor, which is represented by the hue of red.
Then we have the illustration of the local workforce after globalization and labor movement. The light blue portion that represents the amount of workers laid off after the influx of foreign laborers, both skilled and unskilled, is further divided into two portions on another pie chart, with the larger green section representing higher skilled laborers that were retrenched.
International labor movement usually occurs within the rich and skilled laborers as migration is costly. It is rarely an option for the very poor and unskilled, but not unheard of. As such, there is a greater amount of retrenched higher skilled laborers in our economy after labor movement.
There are benefits to globalization, arisen from the movement of labor. Allowing admission of highly skilled workers to the economy may alleviate skill shortages and reduce constraints on growth within Singapore's economy, since highly skilled foreigners boost our population and bolsters the country's knowledge-driven economy.
Globalization also encourages free trade agreements, allowing lower taxes to be imposed on Singapore's exports to countries like USA, thus encouraging greater volumes of trade between the two countries. Such agreements with other countries provide Singapore with preferential access in foreign markets, therefore lessening logistical difficulties between the two trading countries.
However, the world is not always as bright as you see it, Bob, as there are downsides to globalization as well. With globalization, the world has become smaller. With lesser barriers to movement across international boundaries, Singapore could face a brain drain if more highly educated young Singaporeans choose to work and live overseas.
Yes, Anna. According to a 2008 interview with Minister Mentor Lee Kuan Yew by Channel Newsasia, Singapore is currently losing 4 to 5% of the top 30% of the population, in terms of highly educated and highly skilled workers, annually. More students are going abroad to countries like Australia and America for their university degrees, and most of them do not return to work in Singapore after completing their education. Approximately 1,000 Singaporeans are giving up their citizenship every year, and this figure is expected to rise.
Minister Mentor Lee says that, although many highly skilled Chinese nationals are coming to Singapore, attracted by brighter prospects, they often treat Singapore as a stepping stone to better opportunities in the States. Singapore will only manage to make a net gain of talents if it manages to keep 30 to 40 of the skilled foreign workers. Furthermore, during the economic recession in 2009, many lower-skilled migrant workers were retrenched as their respective industries contracted to reduce expenditure.
According to NTD-TV, an Australian TV network, some of these workers had borrowed $6,000 to pay employment agency fees to work in Singapore, only to arrive in Singapore in 2009 to be told that there was no job for them. Hence, these migrant workers are now in debt and run the risk of being labeled as illegal immigrants if they still remain in Singapore when their work permits expire. Many of these migrant workers have no food and shelter. Some take on riskier jobs in hope of earning enough to get an air ticket back to their home country.
We have come to the end of today's segment. We hope you have enjoyed watching. My name is Anna.
And I am Bob, and you are watching Economic Weekly. See you next week.